Okay, let me introduce you to another important component of the Timothy Project. It's called Reading for Life. Reading for Life begins with just a very simple belief that the ability can read can change the trajectory of a person's life. And for us, literacy is about more than simply teaching someone how to recognize words on a page. It's about giving people greater access to education, employment, independence, and ultimately the ability to read and understand the Word of God for themselves. But at a most fundamental level, the ability to read has a direct bearing on your ability to care for your family, the kind of job that you can get. The things that society allows you to do are directly connected to your ability to read. Reading for Life approaches this particular topic in a way that is fundamental to growth in our society. One, not everybody even learns the same way. Some people learn naturally through traditional reading institutions. Some are visual. Some need repetition. Some need info broken down into small pieces. And what we've done is we have worked with an organization called Our Daily Bread that has developed a model that they're implementing in numerous parts of Africa. And this model begins with simple pictures and symbols as a process to begin to grasp words and concepts, and then starts to build vocabulary and fragments and sentences. And most of this comes in a very fast manner for children because of the way that it's presented and it's biblically based. And children begin to recognize words and symbols and put them together. And through consistent practice over time, we have seen children who have gone from not being able to pick up a book and read a thing in it, that instead of it taking 3 to 4 years going through the traditional learning models to read, in 12 months, some of these same children are reading sentence fragments. And this material we have is free. And because of the way it incorporates symbols and other things into the learning, it's also applicable to neurodivergent children, those who are just learning in a different manner and don't always communicate as well. I have two grandchildren that this material has been used with and has been very helpful for them to learn how to communicate better. Leaders can be trained using this material. We train leaders who can train leaders. We've gone into parts of South Africa. Out in the Free State, we had a session that almost 300 adults showed up in the morning. And we taught them in the morning how to use this literacy material. And then in the afternoon, they brought in over 200 children. And those we taught in the morning taught the children in the afternoon. And it was amazing watching the light bulb go off for some of these children, some in the Free State who spoke no English. But they were speaking English in 4 hours of work in the forms of sentence fragments. And here's something that blew me away. At the end of the session, we gave out links to the material and access to content, some of which we were able to print and bring, but it's just gotten to be so expensive. Now we have to make everything available digitally. In this particular case, we brought people up who had been through the training, and we asked them in groups of 4 at a time on a little piece of paper that was a commitment between them and God. Now that you have learned this process, how many children do you think you can teach to learn how to read within the next 12 months? Oh, it was astounding. We had people who wrote 2 children, 6 children, 8 children, and then signed their name. We had them put them in a little container and said, again, this is between you and God. We're not going to ask you anything about this later. But I had one lady who on her page, she wrote 500. I said, ma'am, that's a little aggressive, isn't it? You don't see that as doable, or is that something you're comfortable you can achieve? She says, oh, yes, baby. She said, most of the folks here are of a particular denomination because that's that pastor's background and who he reached out to. But I was invited to come from a different denominational background, and my people haven't even seen any of this. She says, oh, no, yeah, we can do 500 in the next year. Easy. I can't wait to get back and show this to other people. That's what the Timothy Project's about. One can teach another who teaches another and teaches another. And I'll leave you with this. I asked one of the ladies there who was just obviously involved emotionally in what we were doing. I said, man, why is it this seems so important to you? She says, oh, baby, you just don't realize it. She pointed to a little boy and said, that little boy right there, he could end up being my dentist one day, but not if he doesn't learn how to read. She said, and that little girl right there, she could be working in the bank helping me to save enough money to be able to get out of the township, but not if she doesn't learn how to read. She said, and that little guy over there, he could become a doctor and he could become a pastor and he could end up working in a factory building things that change our society, but not if they don't learn how to read. That's why we're doing this. That's specific to just one piece of what we're going to be doing and giving away. We look forward to sharing more. This is what Reading for Life is about, and we got a lot more.